I'll begin it now. Yeah. Anyway, I just want you to know that I feel the reason why Israel wins all its wars against the Muslims is because if Israel didn't win the wars against Muslims, then the Quran, well, 2 scriptures in the Quran would be false. Well, actually 3 scriptures in the Quran. That'd be Quran 17:104, 5:20, and 5:21. Because if you read those scriptures, it really sounds like Allah gave the Holy Land to the Jews, to the Israelis, not to the Muslims, not to the Palestinians, the Gazans, but to the Jews, to the children of Israel. And I think that's why Israel has an Iron Dome, and that's why no matter how much the Muslims of Gaza try to kill the women's and children's of Israel, the Iron Dome stops it. And even Muslims say that it seems like God is that the God of Israel is causing the rockets to go off course, you know, and end up hitting the Muslims, you know. And I'll show you why. That I feel the reason why Israel keeps on winning these wars against the Muslims because of these 2 scriptures from the Quran. Okay, Quran 17:104, Pickthall version. And we, that's Allah, saying we, even though shirk is the worst of sins, said unto the children of Israel after him, dwell in the land, that's the promised land, that's the land that's being contested right now. But when the promise of the hereafter cometh to pass, we, Allah saying we again, even though shirk partnering with all is just unforgivable, we shall bring you, that's the Jews, as a crowd gathered out of various nations. And I think this is why Israel wins all its wars with the Muslims. And then the Shakir says, and we, Allah, said to the Israelites after him, dwell in the land, and when the promise of the next life shall come to pass, we'll bring you both together in judgment. Yeah. Of course, that's the only time that mentions judgment here that I can see. Yusuf Ali then says, 1985 edition, and we, that's all again said, we thereafter to the children of Israel dwell securely in the land. That's the promised land, you know. And securely, that means, you know, that's why the missiles from Gaza can't kill the Jews, I think, because of these scriptures here in the Quran. But when the second of the warnings came to pass, we, Allah saying we again, gathered you, Jews, Israelis, together in a mingled crowd. Now this is 5:20 and 5:21. Pickthall. Okay. And remember when Moses said unto his people, the Jews, O my people, remember all his favor unto you, how he placed among you prophets, and made you kings, and gave you that which he gave not any other, like the promised land, and to of his creation. And what was that Allah gave the Jews in the promised land? We'll read on further here. O my people, go into the holy land, the promised land, which Allah hath ordained for you. See, it was ordained by Allah. And that tells me that if the Muslims were there right now, it'd be going against the Quran. The clear signs, the clear signs handed down that explains things fully in detail. The Quran would be false. And that is why I think Israel wins all its wars against the Muslims. Yeah, O my people, go into the holy land, the promised land, which Allah hath ordained for you. Turn not in flight, for surely ye turn back as losers. You know, so stay in Israel, or you'll be losers, you know. You Jews, you'll be losers if you don't. And that's why the Jews are there, and that's why they keep on winning. They'll be the only losers if they left the promised land, you know. It shouldn't go to the Muslims, it should go to the Jews. Or the Quran is false. These Quran scriptures are false. I'll read on. Okay, now the Shakir version of Quran 5:20. And when Musa said to his people, O my people, remember the favor of Allah upon you, when he raised prophets among you, and made you kings, and gave you what he had not given to other nations among the nations of the promised land. Because it goes on here in Shakir, it says, O my people, enter the holy land, promised land, the holy land. which Allah hath prescribed for you, and turn not on your backs, for then you will be back. You'll be turned back losers. In other words, you gotta stay there, you Jews. You gotta stay there, or you be losers. And they're there, and that's why I think the Iron Dome is working so well. No matter how much the Muslims pray for Allah to get those missiles in to kill all the women and children of Israel, the Iron Dome keeps it from happening. Instead, they're ones that the missiles. They even said that the missiles seem to fly off course and hit them. And it's like God. They said the God of Israel seems like it changes the course of the missiles, and they hit them. And I think that's why, because of Quran 5:21 here. Okay, now 5:20. The Yusuf Ali. Remember Moses said unto his people, O my people, call in remembrance the favor of Allah to you, when he produced prophets among you, made you kings, and gave you what he hath not given any other among the peoples. He didn't give it to the Muslims, didn't give it to the Arabs, he gave it to the Jews. O my people, enter the land which Allah hath assigned unto you, and turn not back ignominiously, for then will ye be overthrown to your own ruin. So you gotta stay there, or you'll be overthrown. And so the Jews are there. Guess what? They keep on winning. Either that or the Quran is false. The Quran be false here. So that is why the Jews keep on winning, and that is why the Palestinians can be like living in rats, because they're not supposed to be there. Because according to these scriptures and the quote clear signs handed down, explains things fully detailed, the Quran, Allah gave the land to the Jews. That would be Gaza. The place that Israel traded with the Muslims in the hopes of achieving peace back in 2005. So if you, a Muslim, are ticked that Israel keeps on winning these wars against the Muslims, your fellow Muslims, blame these scriptures. In Quran 17, 104, 520, and 521. But